Hello everybody, and just here, and welcome back to Tensei Shitara Ken Deshita, episode 6, I believe. I believe it is. Episode 6 indeed, halfway through the season, essentially. And we are already fighting the big bad, or so it would seem. They can still, of course, increase the stakes in the finale of the season and later in the season in general. But that doesn't change the fact that the stakes are pretty damn high already. We have a big boss, first boss, honestly, of first boss. I guess so. Discounting the slave trader dude that we had to fight earlier, discounting all the monsters that Shishou had to fight on his own. As far as the adventure of Fran and Shishou is concerned, this is the very first boss. And it's already very, very, very problematic. Because although the Goblin King and Goblin Queen were just whatever, although the swarm of beetle things was also whatever. And although even the goblin summoner caster guy, the dungeon master, is also a fairly whatever monster that Fran would have no problem fighting, the problem is there's a high ranking demon around that the goblin caster somehow managed to summon and cannot control, which is, I guess, kind of good for us because the goblin can't sick the demon onto us, Shishou and Fran, of course. But it's also bad because the goblin can't just unsummon him, and even if Shishou and Fran kill the goblin summoner, perhaps in different circumstances the demon would just be like, "Oh, finally, I'm no longer bound by contract. Peace out," and would just disappear. But this one just wants to be here and wants to fight, and that's a problem because he already was strong, and now he's only gotten stronger by stealing the witch skills, the swordsmanship and the agility, I think, from Fran. Now, sure, Shishou can bestow those skills upon Fran again, I think, uh, but that doesn't change the fact the demon can just steal them again, and it can steal even more skills, and that will be problematic. And also the fact that, as far as we're concerned, the demon doesn't know that it's Shishou who has all those skills. So if he continues stealing the skills from Fran, that's gonna be well and good because, again, Shishou can just re-bestow them. But if the demon figures out that it's Shishou's skills, we're gonna have a problem. Because if he steals skills from Shishou, he's not gonna have those skills, he's not gonna have anything to bestow upon Fran. And that will be a big, big issue. We do have the recall feather thing, so hopefully they're gonna use that. Maybe not, I don't know. As it is now, unless they resort to some super big brain strategy or something, I can't honestly see Fran and Shishou winning this fight. But maybe, against all odds, they will. If they don't, then I can assume it's gonna be kind of sort of mutual loss, essentially, mutual defeat, where the demon is gonna go away and he's gonna come back perhaps in the finale. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see that in this episode, in episode 6. Is my camera delayed again? I don't think it is, but if it is, I guess I'm just gonna delay the audio in post or something. We'll see. And my mouse is dirty. Okay, regardless of that, we're gonna see episode 6 of Tensei Shitara Ken Deshita right now. You're gonna need subs to follow along. I'm gonna need sound to follow along. Gonna need to untangle the cables. And I'm also gonna need your support. Support the channel if you want monetarily, Patreon, Throne, links in the description, or non-monetarily if you don't want to spend any money. Share my content, spread the word. That does help a lot. And with that out of the way, we can start watching episode 6 of Tensei Shitara Ken Deshita in 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, last time Dragon Ball Z. I mean, you killed them. Fran didn't really have any hand in it, honestly. Indeed. Yeah, she's still as agile as ever. And she still has as much swordsmanship as ever. Yep. Because they aren't hers. Yep. Okay, hey! That problem is solved. Unless, of course, the demon decides or figures out that it's Shishou who has the skills. Yeah, those goblin elites are just gonna be nothing. One punch? Essentially. Yeah, the demon doesn't want any interference. He's fighting a one-on-one. Yeah. He's enjoying himself in this duel. Why would you lower your enjoyment by using some grunts? Should I turn off the filter? Yeah, I think it was just a little bit too saturated. Dodge? Or not, or just face tank it. That's a valid strategy. Yeah. I mean, it got dented. Cast it a couple more times, and yeah. See? Should have dodged. Okay, my tea is still way too hot. Hibiscus, by the way. Found some in the cupboard. Thankfully, I still have water. So, Fran had a little bit of a return to form, then she fell off again after that dark thunderbolt, or whatever it was called. Are we gonna have another burst of power from her? Or is it now up to the other adventurers to arrive and help us out? That'll be cool. They're strong, not as strong as Fran, but they might be useful, even as a distraction. Then again, chances are they will just be destroyed immediately by the greater demon, and it would be a pity to lose those characters. Yeah, here he is. And that was some other enemy looking guy, so probably the final boss of the finale? I don't know. No, she didn't, actually, from what I could see, but yeah, please do. I mean, sure, but at least you will have all those people helping you. Okay, so we're gonna somehow overcome the odds and defeat the demon after all. I wonder how exactly. Just straight Anga Bunga damage, or are we employing some kinds of tactics or something? Okay, so straight Anga Bunga damage. That's fine. That's a valid strategy. Yeah, probably like holy magic or light magic or something like that. You should expand your skill book because everything is just darkness this, darkness that. How about darkness go touch some grass? Sorry. Darkness spirit bomb? Darkness explosion? No, darkness blaster, but a really strong darkness blaster. Gotcha. Yeah, he doesn't give a fuck. Okay, so maybe when you kill the DM, he gets unsummoned. So maybe my idea from the very beginning was correct. Yeah? The DM is the key. Okay, yeah, so he gets unsummoned. Or perhaps just straight up killed. Okay. Seems like a valid strategy. Double casting. Triple casting. He doesn't have any. He's just a weak ass goblin. Some mana stealing ability would be useful. Meaning, you're gonna go melee, use the Fire Blast as cover, and then get into melee range? Essentially. Darkness Thunderbolt again? Darkness Thunderbolt indeed. Okay. Oh, so that's mana recharge, not charging up a big skill. Understandable. Okay. So she's gonna distract the demon, and Shishou is gonna use telepathy or whatever, yeah, to veer off course and attack the DM. Not gonna be that easy, I'm afraid. Especially since the sword can course correct. Yeah. Is it gonna be that easy, though? Maybe it is, actually. In the meantime, Fran just starts shooting at the DM. And just like that. Okay, that works. And that's a cool shot. Just like that. And a whole bunch of skills as well. What barrier? Now kill the DM. And he's damaged. Probably, well, maybe not simple to fix, possible to fix. Yeah, bring him to the blacksmith. He's just gonna use a couple crystals and fix him right up. Or maybe overtake this other sword or something. Wonder if that's something that can be done. Oh, and mana from the crystal. That's also a thing. Yeah. Should have said something, true. I'm with Fran here. I'm fully with Fran. You're forgetting the dungeon master though. Yeah, you're forgetting the dungeon master. Or maybe not. Why didn't you kill him though? Just kill. Yes, kill. Please. Break the armband. Or cut off the hand. That also works. And that's another accessory for Fran. And she's gonna be able to resurrect once. Yeah. Kill. Stab the crystal. No, not gonna make sure that he's really dead. Okay. I guess that's fine. I'd rather make sure and decapitate the guy, but I guess I'm trusting Shishou's life sense or whatever ability. And another sword to the collection. Not only that. That's a summoned demon. Yeah? Just casually. Yeah, he was really hard to beat. uh, I love Fran's deadpan delivery. I mean, y'all would have died, so. Okay. Don't cinch her hair, though. What if it's a really shitty quest, though? That's like, what? Yeah, quite a few levels. Also got a bunch of skills. Cooking. Okay, she's still processing being chewed out. And that. Sure. I mean, what was he supposed to do, honestly? Curry. It's meat with curry. That's basically it. We dungeon meshy now. Eating monsters, although not dungeon monsters. Okay, what you got? And maybe communicate telepathically instead of speaking out loud, but sure. True. Can you, like, prestige them or something? Oh no, second tier skills. That's an interesting system. When you max out a skill, you get like a second tier skill. Useful. Assuming there are some enemies. Good taste! Hey, very good taste! Flaming swords are cool. I fucking hate the term cheat skill, but that's besides the point. Yeah, that's gonna make every fight much easier. Who's watching them? Maybe nobody. Yeah, nobody. The shot just seemed like something where someone is perched on the rocks and watching over them. Oof, that's a lot. How much is that? 432 hours? It's like what? A week or so? Something like that. No, more than that. Because 10 days would be 240 hours. 8 days? No. 15, 16 days? Something thereabouts? 17? That's cool. Probably fangs, hair, horns. Consumed! Tough luck. You gonna spin up a lie, or are you gonna be open with that? There were no remains, though. Unless it shattered to, like, complete powder. The spirits are fucking dumb. Hello. Who might you be? You're from the opening. Who are you, though? If your brain fills your chin, then I guess your brain is big, but it doesn't fill the chin as far as I'm concerned. He's gonna be an antagonist, isn't he? You can see that immediately. Let's play the game of Spot the Antagonist. Okay. So we have a bunch of brand new skills. Sword mastery, blade mastery, all that jazz. We have a new antagonist. We have a new sword in our possession. I wonder if that's gonna be relevant eventually. The resurrection bracelet, that's another item. She should be wearing that. Honestly, I wonder why she should just hid it in the storage. Like, sure, it might be, I don't know, suspicious that she has it suddenly, but she killed the dungeon master. Dungeon master had it, so she picked it up and she has it. I mean, very simple explanation. You don't even need to lie. The horrible lieutenant of the Knights Brigade. I think we all know who's the horrible lieutenant. Okay. There's nothing after credits. We know that for sure. So, let's go through it again, shall we? Majority of this episode was just fight, so it's probably gonna be a fairly short discussion. But nevertheless, yeah, last time on Dragon Ball Z. This is an interesting mechanic. I thought that skill sharing is kind of like Shishou just bestows the skills upon whoever he deems worthy of them, and they just have those skills as their own. And it's gonna be essentially the demon takes away her skills, but Shishou just resets them back to how they were, and it's an endless cycle of that. But now the skills are shared. The source of that skill is in Shishou. Fran is only a bearer of them. And if you want to steal a skill, you need to steal it from the source. Interesting. Interesting and cool. I like it. Strongest goblin elites. Yeah, the demon doesn't want that. He wants to have fun. It's probably the most fun he's had for a good while. adventurers as strong as Fran aren't commonplace. So now he has a chance to finally go all out. Unless we don't know if he's an actual demon that's been summoned here from some lair, demon realm, demon realm somewhere, or if he's been essentially created by the dungeon master. Because summoned can have kind of sort of two meanings. You can summon from somewhere. Sorry, haven't had my coffee yet. Or you can summon from nowhere. Essentially, I wonder which is it. And he wants to destroy a city because, of course, he does. Those are some tough doors, but seeing how they can be dented, you could reasonably think that you can destroy them one way or another. So they could have broken through if they wanted, I think. And where's that dude in the ending? The chin guy. This is... Yeah, her memories. Surfing on a sword. The good people. And... yeah, he was somewhere alongside some furry-looking character. I'm not gonna search for it. But yeah, he's in the opening for sure. If he attacks Alessa, he'll destroy the shops and the guild, and lots of people could end up dead. Fair. It also kind of ties into what someone said, that Fran is strong and powerful and whatnot, but she is still a child despite all. And it's a bit of a childish idealism in her right now, right? That, oh, all of those people were nice to me, we can't have them hurt. And it worked this time around, but there are times when you have to save your own skin, honestly. You have to, like, save your own skin, get out of the dungeon, and get back to the city and raise a ruckus that, hey, there's a rank B demon in the dungeon and he's fucking coming, so call for the Imperial Army or whatever to come here and help us fight the demon off. That would be something that I would have done, probably. But I guess for Fran's character, she's very headstrong and very has that childish idealism in her, so it makes sense for her character. Simply not something that I would have done. And yeah, she wants to evolve, of course, and she grew stronger, not just physically, but also mentally. That's a lot of mana, and barely anything was used up. That's a lot of health, and again, barely anything was used. And the weakness is indeed in the Dungeon Master. So I was correct. Well, not entirely. My assumption was that if you kill a summoner, then the summoned monster vanishes or dies. But it's more on a bigger scale of dungeon and monsters within. When you kill the Dungeon Master, all the monsters within the dungeon disappear, including the demon. Ah. Thankfully, the Dungeon Master is weak, so killing him is no problem. But of course, the demon protects. Weak spot. He needs to regenerate his mana, and this is a great frame, completely by accident. But yeah, that's a cool shot. Very not quite fish eye, but from the perspective of his horns. It's cool. It's cool. I really do like some of the art and some of the animation in this show. Absolutely, all those like scratches and dirt and grime on characters. You don't see that all that often in anime, honestly. Many of the modern, especially seasonal isekai trash, so to speak, has that very clean and very sterile art style that I'm not particularly fond of. This is a bit more grimy, a bit more scratched up and dirty and muted. So it's a nice breath of fresh air, essentially. Yeah, he needs 3 seconds to recharge his MP. Fran can blast him away with wind magic, but that's not what we're going to do, apparently. We're going to use wind magic to propel Shishou, and fire magic to distract the demon. And yeah, of course, it would be one thing if Shishou was just a regular sword that was thrown, because you can predict the trajectory, but Shishou can avoid anything because he can just control himself, he can steer himself. This is a big gamble, and I feel like an unnecessary one, honestly. Now, it paid off, sure, but the safe thing to do would be to just jump over the beam from the demon and go for the Dungeon Master regardless, because Dungeon Master dies, demon disappears, Fran is safe. This is like the biggest thing. This is the most importance right now, to keep Fran safe. So it's weird that Shishou didn't go for the safest route of just destroying the Dungeon Master. Instead, he went for a gamble and aimed for the demon to try to break his core, his crystal. Now, it's a high risk, high reward kind of situation, because you risk Fran fucking dying if the demon intercepts you, as he did, and it's only by chance that Shishou was strong enough to break through that demon's defense. You gain a lot of skills, a lot of XP and whatnot, but still, the safest option would have been to go for the Dungeon Master. And it's weird that Shishou, who's constantly been on and on about how he wants to keep Fran safe, just decided to gamble with Fran's safety for the sake of destroying the crystal. Seems weird to me, honestly. Very weird. Now, of course, Shishou is powerful and he managed to break through, but still, right, it was a big risk. What if he didn't have enough enough mana? What if the demon was just a little bit stronger and managed to hold Shishou in place? What if the demon managed to crack the blade right now with his bare hands? What if the demon managed to summon demonic chestplate? What if the demon managed to summon a sword and cut Shishou in half, right? What if? Plenty of ways this could have gone wrong. Not many ways where attacking the Dungeon Master could have gone wrong, especially since Shishou can just evade, right? And if not, Shishou could just fight the higher demon himself, and while he's distracted, Fran could just throw a single fireball at the Dungeon Master, and that would probably be enough. It seems like a very weird gamble. It's kind of like, I know. You're drowning in a car with your children in the back seat, and you can choose to either get them out safely ASAP, or you can spend the time fiddling with the cables trying to disconnect the radio because it's an expensive radio and you want it with you, and you also want to clean out the glove box, and you spend time cleaning that out because it's expensive and it's fine, and it's like fine stuff. You grab that, put it in some bag, you look for some bag, and only then you start rescuing your family from the drowning car. And you succeed, so sure, it paid off, you saved your family, and you got the expensive stuff from the car that you managed to save, but the priorities are kinda out of whack, is what I'm trying to say. And it doesn't really suit Shishou's personality? I don't know, I'm not sure. Unless he was so confident in being able to break through the higher demon's defense, but what instilled that confidence? They were on the losing side all this time, so kind of weird. What if the demon had like a mana potion with him? So he didn't need to spend 3 seconds recharging. He could have just downed the mana potion, and what then? You're out of luck because the demon is back at full strength, and you fucked up. But of course, it works out in the end. We get the crystal, we get the sword, and it's just another weird decision on Shishou's part. Instead of being like, oh yeah, Fran, no worries, I'm fine. I have regeneration. I'm very strong. I got a charge of mana from the crystal. I'm gonna be fine. Just give me a while. He's just waiting there as if he was dead, and only later on starts with, oh, this crystal is so scrumptious. Not even trying to say, oh yeah, Fran, I'm actually fine. I just blanked out for a moment, right? I essentially was knocked unconscious, but I'm back to form. My regen kicked in. I'm gonna be fine. It starts with this crystal is so scrumptious. Now I understand the like comedic appeal of this sentence. It's like many times you see in anime someone knocked out, or yeah, someone knocked out, almost killed, and someone's crying over their body, and they're like, Ichigo milk, dreaming about like strawberry milk because they just fell asleep and weren't actually dead. And you often have like a super deformed art style then with the person like, crying over them, just being angry and slapping them in the face or something like that, right? I mean, you know those scenes, they're fucking everywhere. So I understand the like classic way of comedic timing, comedic appeal, but is it a time for comedy right now? I don't know, I'm not sure. It works in the end, but it's kinda out of character for Shishou, honestly. And yeah, all's well that ends well. Uh, Waiting to kill the dungeon master though. This is something that never had any appeal to me. All this like big, long-winded speech before killing the villain. Just fucking cut his head off and be done with it. Why have the speech? Why discuss it? Why just cut off his horns and then I don't know, throw his crown away and cut off his badge of honor because you have no honor, and then I don't know, do all that unnecessary stuff and give him a chance to come back instead of just slice and done. Maybe I'm too pragmatic for for stories like that. I don't know. I don't know. There's that anime, I think. Anime or manga? I think it's called like Pragmatic Hero or Super Pragmatic something, where dude is getting isekai and his superpower is that he's incredibly pragmatic. He doesn't waste time on speeches. He just does the job and is done with it. So again, I see the appeal of like elevating this moment, but on the other hand, this dungeon master is incredibly weak. So it would have been one thing if this scene was with the demon, right? The demon is on his knees, on his last legs, and Fran has this whole speech and proceeds to decapitate him as a like symbol of winning, right? That emphasis, that final emphasis. But this dude is just a useless fucking grunt. You could fart in his general direction and he's gonna kill over. So it doesn't quite have that weight. It's as if Fran was spending the time monologuing before every single goblin she killed. I don't know. I don't know. But again, all's well that ends well. I still would have decapitated him just to make sure. Yeah, like, okay, sure, he's dead. All my data points that he's dead. But after going through the Tower of Mice quest in The Witcher 3, I know that being dead doesn't necessarily mean being dead, and it's better to make fucking sure that they are actually dead. Uh, yeah. If I were to be transported to an isekai world, I'd be decapitating every enemy just to make sure. and maybe even get a skill that allows me to, I don't know, shrunk their heads just to make sure they're not gonna grow back or they're not gonna connect back or something like that. I'd be carrying a storage full of shrunken heads. That's kind of fucked up if you think about it, but but that's a way to ensure that someone is dead and stays dead. But yeah, again, all's well that ends well. It seems to be a running theme of this episode, at least in my commentary. We won, we got a brand new sword. I love Fran's deadpan delivery. Yeah, he was really hard to beat. Just completely nonplussed, completely undisturbed, unperturbed. Yeah, it was kind of hard actually. It wasn't an easy fight. What do we have? Age still 12. Beastman Black Cat, Spell Sword. Goblin Killer, Calm Mind, Expert Butcher, Determination Wayfinder, Dark Vision, Insect Killer, and the Enhanced Growth Rate, so she's gonna be leveling up faster. That's useful. New titles: Dungeon Raider, Big Game Hunter, Demon Killer, Insect Killer for killing insects, Big Game Hunter for defeating an enemy far above your level, Vitality plus 20 and plus 5 to all stats. That's useful. Enhanced Growth Rate. There's no data about enhanced. Oh no, and okay. Big Game Hunter unlocks the enhanced growth rate. Gotcha. Dungeon Raider, kill a dungeon master or destroy a dungeon core, increases vitality and MP while in dungeons. That's gonna be useful when you go dungeon dwelling. And what did Shishou get? Anything new? I don't know which ones are new, which ones aren't. Evolution 8, okay. Stats up. Wind magic, sword art, sword mastery, summon minion, harden, element resistance, earth magic, poison magic. That's not all that many, honestly. I fully expected Shishou to have many more skills. And of course, Fran is pissed. But the promise of Kari makes everything better. And people think she's out of her mind because she's just singing about Kari unprompted. Sword arts and sword mastery, sure. Seems like a good choice. And that unlocks more skills in the same area. Blade arts, blade mastery. How are they different? I don't know. Sword mastery and blade mastery. Is blade mastery maybe about every single blade? Like you get mastery with daggers and with naginatas and with spears and with, I don't know, sabers and stuff like that. Probably, possibly. Elemental Blade. Very good choice, Fran. I approve. Flaming Sword. Looks dope as fuck and looks terrifying to enemies. And it's just a good choice. I love spell swords. And of course, Skill Taker. That's gonna make the job of fighting easier because you can just steal a skill without having to destroy the crystal. At least temporarily. We don't know if skills taken by Skill Taker stay or disappear after a while. We'll see, I guess. But it's gonna be useful. For sure. 100% once per target. And the cooldown is 432 hours. Which is 430. Oh, I'm switching scenes. Am I still recording? I am. 432 by 24. 18 days. Okay. I have my things bound to my numeric keyboard, and I get used to using numpad for calculator, and yeah, that's how it works. Okay, 18 days. That's on one hand, that's quite a lot. On the other, it's kind of shorter than it initially seemed. 18 days, that's 2 weeks and then some. Still, that means you can't use them back to back. And you have to be selective. When you're in a dungeon and you take a skill from someone, do you want to take that skill? Or do you want to save it up to take a skill from the dungeon master? And if you take the skill from the dungeon master, what are the chances that in the next 18 days you're gonna have the need for that skill again? You can essentially go dungeon delving only once every 18 days, kind of, sorta. Interesting. A very interesting limitation. Day-long cooldowns are always interesting limitation. We gotta find an annoying old guy with a skill we want. Yep. Materials, but there's no crystal. That's a problem. Stealing crystals, because whenever they go to fight a monster or a boss or whatever, people are gonna ask about crystals. Right? Like they were taking the bodies of the goblins they killed with them for whatever godforsaken reason. But if they were laying down there, down in the dungeon, I'm gonna need to have a coffee. In the dungeon, and the party follows after Fran, and they see that none of the goblins have crystals. It's gonna be weird, because if there's even like 20% of all goblins of all monsters have crystals in them, and none of them have it, that's kind of odd. That's kind of weird. Where did they go? Like, sure, she's entitled to her loot, but you know, questions. She didn't sell them anywhere. She didn't give them to the guild. Where are they? Even more so with big high rank monsters that have big important crystals in them. People are gonna be asking. Its shattered spirits are not disturbed. And here comes this guy. I initially thought it's the blacksmith dude, but no, it's an ugly-looking, annoying midget fat guy who has a curious skill, maybe like, I don't know, truth eye or something, or maybe another instance of a god eye that the blacksmith has, that allows him to see the truth or allows him to see where crystals are, maybe. And he sees that crystals are within Shishou. I'm too wise and intelligent to be deceived. You sure look like that, my dude. You sure look like that. Yeah, my question exactly. The hell is this guy? He's the exact same archetype as the fat slave trader in Tate no Yusha. Next one, the horrible lieutenant of the Knights Brigade. Sure, we're gonna meet him, and he's gonna be annoying, and he's probably gonna be an antagonist. I only wonder what kind of an antagonist. Is he gonna be like an antagonist that's actually gonna cause us issues, or is he gonna be like a Hulk and Skull kind of an antagonist that's antagonistic but ultimately just the butt of every joke? I wonder. Or maybe he's not gonna be an antagonist whatsoever. That's also a possibility. Wouldn't be the first time in anime where they introduced someone who looks like an antagonist but isn't. Cue the Pope from Sahet no Paladin. No, not the Pope, the Bishop, or whatever his title was, from Sahet no Paladin. Okay, that's about it. This episode didn't really have all that much to it. Just the fight. The fight was cool. Sure, the resolution was cool. A couple of things, as I mentioned, that don't quite sit all that well with me. Right, Shishou taking all the risks and being more focused on the crystals than on Fran. For comedic effect, sure, but still doesn't sit well with me that he'd be this kind of a character. Overall, good episode though. I have no like mixed feelings. There isn't anything that I would have particularly disliked. It was overall good. Cool fight. We're gathering some cool skills. Although I wonder if we're gathering the skills a little bit too fast. Maybe that's just a weird vibe I'm getting, that perhaps Fran is gonna grow too powerful too quickly, and that's not gonna be all that fun because it's gonna turn into a generic isekai then. Because the appeal from the get go was that, to me at least, that Fran is an underdog through and through. She's 12, she's a starved out former slave. She can't evolve, the only skills she can get are from Shishou, right? But now she's growing stronger and Shishou is growing stronger, and we're getting more and more and more ridiculous skills as the time goes on. Skill taker is like the very classic kind. I mean, in general, the idea of skill taking is very common, especially in isekais. I can't count the amount of isekais, and not only isekais, just the fantasy stories, fantasy manga, and light novels, whose entire basis is that the main character can steal skills. And that's essentially it. He steals more skills, and then he goes fight with them, and he steals more skills, and he's growing more powerful, and then he meets a powerful enemy and steals his skills, and ends up with 227 different resurrection skills that make him immortal, right? That kind of deal. I don't know, there are different approaches to that for sure. Like Shishou has to destroy the crystals to learn those skills. And the crystals missing is gonna raise questions. That's an interesting approach. For sure, certainly. Uh, Skill taking rarely has any repercussions, any like in world notice. Nobody really puts any notice to that. He has 200 skills. Oh, well, I guess he's really strong. In this case, the disappearing crystals are gonna tip some people off. There are, sure, other imaginative ways of stealing skills. One manga comes to mind, Virus Tensei something, I think. A dude gets reincarnated as a virus and can take over other creatures as that virus and steal their skills by taking them over. But he first has to take over that creature. And there are also some other limitations to that. So yeah, there are certainly cool approaches to that, but it's kind of reaching the saturation point to me, honestly, when every character is like a MMO character unlocking skill after skill after skill after skill after skill after skill. I can get lost in that, and does it really bring anything? Like honestly, it's also part of the gamification and why I'm not fond of gamification, because nowadays in isekais, and not only in just regular fantasy manga and light novels and anime as well, we can't just have someone be really good at fighting with swords. No, he has to have level 9 of sword mastery. We can't have someone be really fucking resilient. No, he has to have 2800 HP. We can't have someone have a really strong fireball spell because he worked on that fireball, he trained that fireball, and he's really fucking good at casting fireball. No, it has to be fireball plus level 18. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Now, it doesn't take anything out from the enjoyment I get from watching this series. Absolutely not. I still do enjoy myself thoroughly. It's more of a general note about isekai genre as a whole that is kind of getting stale. There are some gems. Absolutely, there are. But there's plenty of just factory produced diamonds as well. So. As far as this episode is concerned, do I have anything more to add? I don't think I do. I don't think I do. We defeated the demon, we conquered the dungeon, we got a bunch of new skills, and we are being introduced to a brand new villain. And that villain is gonna be someone more relevant from the next episode onwards, I'm assuming. But yeah, I think that's gonna be it. But maybe you guys, maybe you have something more to add, and if so, tell me down in the comments below. What did you think of this episode, of my reaction, of my theories? No spoilers, please, if you're familiar with the source material. Clarifications I'm leaving at your discretion, but spoilers are a big no-no. If you do want to talk spoilers, Discord, here, also in the description, join it. There is a channel for Tensei Shitara Ken Deshita, which you can join and use spoiler tags and talk spoilers to your heart's content. Like this video if you liked it, dislike it if you disliked it, but tell me why so I can improve. Subscribe to the channel to be notified of future releases. Um, like not only Tensei Shitara Ken Deshita, but also Symphogear Axis, Arknight's Prelude to Dawn as a semi-veteran in the game. Also Gundam Witch from Mercury, Madoka Magica, the movie. I'm kind of scared of that, but I'm gonna get to that eventually. And what else am I watching? The management of Novice Alchemist. Tenpai Renkin something Renkin Jutsushi no Tenpo Kei. That's the title. So if you're interested in any of that or more, do check out my channel. What comes next? And stay subscribed because I also stream sometimes, so you might want to click the bell to be notified when I go live. That's it. Support the channel if you want monetarily. Patreon Throne, links in the description below. On Patreon for $10 a month you get early access to non-seasonals like Symphogear, like Madoka, like whatever comes next. For just $1 you get a role on the Discord, and you also get a place in the credits that will be rolling by shortly. And on Throne you can pitch in directly towards my purchase of better lighting, better camera, stuff like that. And if you don't want to spend any money but still want to help the channel, sharing my content, spreading the word is the best way to do that. And it has an actual impact. 5% of you come here from Reddit, for example. So I think that's gonna be it from me for today. So as always, you guys do all the good stuff, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Cheers. I'm gonna get my coffee now, and in the meantime you can consider becoming a supporter if you want. No stress.